My name is Thea Kama. I am the ambassador for the Global March for Elephant, Rhino, and Lion in Gaborone, Botswana. I am a conservationist, a mother, a mentor.
And I am Tlhokomela Botswana. I am the Minister of Environment, Natural Resources, Conservation and Tourism. What Botswana has been doing in conservation is we have two aspects of that, one of which of course is our ecosystems and the environment, and the other one is wildlife. And wildlife recently I think we're in our third year now of a hunting ban. And in conservation we have renewable and sustainable models that Botswana leads in the world as far as our tourism aspects go in natural resources, as well as in our safari operations. Currently Botswana is home to about between 35 and 40% of the African elephant population. We have, of course, as you may or may not know, we have the Kalahari black male lion, which is particularly sought after. The various types of animals that we have in the country, I think, is really the diversity of the species that we have, which talks to also how exciting tourism is for Botswana, because we have a very wide spectrum of wildlife. Some countries concentrate on what they call the big five. With us in Botswana, every animal is important. And considering that at the moment the mainstay of our economy is diamonds, diamonds are not forever. And sooner or later, we're going to have to seriously diversify that mindset on how we are bringing in an economy into our country. And the only way that we have real control over is through tourism. And wildlife is obviously the mainstay of our tourism in that respect. So wildlife is a very, very important aspect to our tourism and our economy in the country.
And we've shown the world that we can actually realize more value from these, having tourism be the way in which we look after our wildlife, the way in which we realize value, rather than hunting, for example.
Well, let me give you an example. We did a calculation on the value of a rhino, an elephant tusk on the black market, where it's selling for between $1,500 to $2,500 per kg. But when we look at the revenue resource of the country from tourism and we break it down into specifics, we have calculated that a live elephant through its life would contribute up to about $1.2 million, towards our economy.
In 2013, the Global March was started by a group of people who realized that there were 27,000 species in the world that were being depleted and actually going extinct. And they decided to band together to create awareness and to lobby governments and lobby different entities to come together to protect these endangered species. Okay, so the purpose of the Global March is to raise awareness and to lobby different government entities, different legislations, to lobby CITES, for example, about the populace, what the populations of different countries and different cities are saying, what the people want in terms of protecting wildlife. This year on the day, we had a lot of activities. We started off with a warm-up routine for the people as they started coming in. We had t-shirts for sale to raise funds for the Tlhokomela Botswana Endangered Wildlife Trust. We had speakers. We had all the marchers getting involved with the schools who came out with their marching bands. We had traditional dancers getting involved from the cultural side. And then at the end, at the finish, we had competitions on the best placard, so the best message that these kids could come up with, which they did incredible job. They came up with so many amazing messages.
The initiative of the Global March, and I really want to appreciate the ambassador here, for the Global March and everybody that took part on the Global March, because the awareness is so important. But people must not think that conservation is only government. And I think that is one of the areas that we need to work on. When I was at CITES, I had two NGOs that were working with me very, very closely and gave me so much information. And one was Dr. Michael Chase from Elephants Without Borders. And then the other was Derek Joubert from Rhinos Without Borders. But the passion that people like that have to assist us as government officials was really invaluable. So the more people we get involved, we can do better with more of us. So, you know, when you see the youth in the Global March, and to me, that was the most amazing thing, was to see how the youth turned out in the Global March. And really, I'll tell you, you know, you know, in situations like this. But, you know, they have decided that the Global March was a wonderful platform for them to understand the reason for why this awareness has to be brought up for these animals. And we really, as government, and then on behalf of my ministry, we really appreciated having the Global March.
I love the fact, as I walked today with the children, they were very aware of what's happening in Botswana regarding poaching, regarding the illegal trafficking in animals and wildlife, in the illegal ivory trade, and the rhino horn trade. They're very aware too, had a very sophisticated understanding of climate change.
Our children, they need to start now to know more about, you know, taking care of these animals.
And also we raised a lot of money. We raised about 300,000 pula from the corporates and other entities on the day for Tlhokomela Botswana Endangered Wildlife Trust. So we were very proud of that.
Tlhokomela Trust was an idea that I come up with because I was concerned at how people were raising money on the pretext that they were relocating species for protection to Botswana. But we had no real authentic way of proving that that funding was being used for that purpose. So that was the reason Tlhokomela Trust was formed. So now people are able to donate directly to Tlhokomela Trust, and then Tlhokomela Trust also participates in, you know, exactly what it is, looking after endangered wildlife species. First of all, first and foremost, I would like to thank all Botswana who have assisted and do assist us in wildlife coexistence, and those who are involved in assisting in the management and the conservation of wildlife. Secondly, I would like to also thank everybody else in the world who is of the same mindset. And I think thirdly, also equally important, I'd like to thank the President, because it's through his guidance and also the commitment of government as a whole that we're able to show the world what conservation in Botswana is about, and the difference in the way we protect our animals as opposed to how other people do, or how other nations do. The message I have to the world is very simple. It's a very simple message, that I would like the world to see how Botswana coexists with wildlife, and then you'll understand the real value of wildlife. And I think the final message I have to the world is, please do the right thing. Don't use platforms like CITES as a place whereby you start to lobby so that you're able to move an animal into an appendix at the next CITES sitting, or you move it down or you move it up. And I think once we lose sight of the value of wildlife, then I think we've lost sight of the purpose of the journey.
Be one voice, be unified in this, because we are all one. We are one voice.
Thank you very much. I would like to thank Mayor Khama for inviting us. As Bina said, Lorna, we wanted to give back to the community.
Gratitude for pulling this together. I know her entire team worked like 1 and 2 o'clock last night, and they all walked today. We had tremendous entertainment, but what I really liked is how they drew in the young people.